I passed out a flyer, and I was trying to figure out what we're going to do. I love this. The cord, in Ecclesiastes 4:12, it says a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. And the importance of what the study is today is about relationships and having the camaraderie.
If you don't learn that word by next week,
Just think of comrade.
And the relationship that we have with one another, you know, we go, especially guys, sometimes as we get older, we go through life and all of our buds and friends or whatever, they either pass away, move away, and that, and sometimes you wonder, you know, where are all the people? Where have all the people? No singing? No singing. And
we're falling back into the world.
So, you know, this, if somebody could read this, Mike, you got a good strong voice there.
A friend gave me a house plant she'd owned for more than 40 years. The plant was equal to my height, and it produced large leaves from 3 separate spindly trunks. Over time, the weight of the leaves had caused all 3 of the stalks to curve down toward the floor. To straighten them, I put a wedge under the plant's pot and placed it near a window so the sunlight could draw the leaves upward and help cure its bad posture. Shortly after receiving the plant, I saw one just like it in a waiting room at a local business. It also grew from 3 long skinny stalks, but they had been braided together to form a larger, more solid core. This plant stood upright without any help. Any 2 people may stay in the same pot for years, yet grow apart and experience fewer of the benefits God wants them to enjoy. When their lives are woven together with God, however, there is a greater sense of stability and closeness. Their relationship will grow stronger. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. Ecclesiastes 4:12. Like houseplants, marriages and friendships require some nurturing. Tending to these relationships involves merging spiritually so that God is present at the center of each important bond. He's an endless supply of love and grace, the things we need most to stay happily united with each other.
You know, this morning I was reading, as I read this, I was coming here. It's kind of interesting because it talks about that plant that were woven together. The ficus? Don't ficus people. Anyway, they were woven together, and they were strong, and they grew. That's great. But then you know what I thought about was that they need to put that stake in the middle to give them the strength to come together. And I say, man, that's Christ right there, man. You know, putting that stake right in there.
that'll be the center of everything.
It has to be. And then what I was thinking about, you know, like as we are, that plant that wasn't woven together, separated, but you know what? As God brought them back together as one and tied them together, you know. So now that we may be singular, but we're plural because of the connection of the stake and what He did on the cross and the woven together as men, and that's what friendships, and that's what God's wanting us to do, you know. Because usually what happens is, we're seeing this more and more, you know. Tommy was, I miss Tommy. He was right there when we, bless you, my friend. And we were right there when we started the ministry, and we went through a lot of stuff together. We had fun, we fought, and but we respected and loved one another, you know. So you know, I miss that relationship with him, you know, that closeness that we had, you know. And so I don't know, anybody have any testimonies of people facing the things against or something of that nature? Relationships, yeah. Nobody has somebody that they miss and is not together with them or what?
I don't like people, so it's never been a problem.
Pardon me?
Like East Coast. Do you like plants? So how about this? I'll get in there. Fritz, weren't we at the St. Pete Diner? How long ago was that?
20 plus.
Right? I think they're smoking different. All together in a pot does not mean what it sounds like. And,
20 plus.
yeah, I'd say 25 to 30. Same way with Elsie and MC, and such like that. And I
We all wore younger
I
men's
feel like
clothes.
I've come back together and back to this breakfast. And, that can I share real quick? I hope I do share real quick. I said to somebody, and I said, you know what? 30 years, we'll just round it off. 30 years, and I've never called you. I don't even have your phone. I've written it down in my Bible about it, but I never got in touch with you. And I was getting pretty dire straits. I mean, literally out there. And I said, Fritz, can I call you? And I just called them, and we talked and chatted. But it started that, man. And then I thought, well, don't get dependent on it, you know, all that you say. And then, out of the clear blue, God gave him a revelation to call Phil Phillips. Remember? Yeah. It created a connection, and it was like, man, that being alone, is only see you once a week, but the connection helped me keep walking, keep growing, and that Romeo here at Perry's, and you know, because all I had was unsaved people. I mean, demonically inspired people. And I thank God that on my reunion with my brother, he's like my twin, yesterday, he's helping me get my property taxes. And it was just freaking me, nightmares, everything. I'm trying to make this shit. But I mean, I couldn't get it off of me. Like he's in this sickness, I just couldn't get it off of me. And then finally just brought this guy along and said, yeah, I want the thing, and it just lifted. The guy just lifted that oppression off of me. Just like yesterday, we're working all over the place. My brother and I were hanging drywall. Now, I've known him 45 years. Okay? But he is working, he's driving, he's over here. I can call him, and he talks 2 minutes. He's done. The reason I'm trying to say that is we joined together, and finally we agreed together, and finally there was major changes. And all of a sudden it was like all this stuff, demonically inspired, whatever you want to call it, just started lifting off. So Father, in the name of Jesus, I just look to pray. Right now, your mother is in God's hands. I've had to let go of somebody I care very much about. It's just ripping me up, it's tearing me apart. But I have to say, I have to trust God. I have to head in that direction. I wasn't heading in that direction. I was going the wrong way. So I have to say this again. Thank you guys for being consistent, loving me. Mahoney, Mark, Mike, Andre. And so the friends that I'm back connected to are you guys. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have the peace that I have if it wasn't for Fritz, if it wasn't for Mark, if it wasn't for Romeo, if it wasn't for that guy over there, Dizzy. Now Roy, I don't know about. I don't like him. That's okay. So Jesus is faithful, but he uses you. Okay?
We're his hands and his feet.
Yes, and without you, I can rebuke everything in the world. See? Get that?
You know, throughout the years, I miss people like Andy.
Yeah.
When you were saying that, I was thinking of Andy and Gordon, the people that have gone before us.
Yeah,
You know?
Algie and I were talking about doing a memorial wall over at the office, at his office, of all the people that we've throughout the years in this group that have gone. You know, John Fillman, he's gone.
Like you got a blank
Gordon,
wall.
all these folks
Smack Mike.
that were
Sam Fillman
very
in the blank.
influential in this group and in my growing in the Word and stuff, especially Andy, man. What an incredible person, you know. And so there's people like that that when we were doing ministry, you know, that I know that when I was in the world and growing up, and we were involved in street gangs in Chicago, that I know that I had two people along my side that I always had, that I know they were there because they would cover my back.
And the name's Aaron and her.
No, they weren't hurt. And these guys were always covering my back. I've never had any problems
Samson
with
and
that,
Delilah.
but I did walk with some people that if something did happen, these guys began to hide and hid. And so, you want to be around people that are going to help and support you, and people that you admire. And this is what we're talking about. For you guys to be silent and not say that there's anybody that you even thought about is kind of weird, you know.
This ends cool, weird.
I got a couple of friends from all the way back in high school.
Yeah.
And you kind of think, well, your high school buddies and stuff like that, and you forget about them and everything like that. But you don't. It's like, I went back to my 45th reunion or whatever like that, and we all got together and hung out all weekend and everything, but they kind of, huh?
So you were only 39.
I am, but anyway, but the thing about it is they're kind of like, I met Bob Duke. He lives on Galveston Island. Back when we were running around chasing girls from up with people and stuff like that.
Wow. What?
And then Randy's the same thing, out of high school or whatever like that. He married his high school sweetheart or whatever. I know Mary very well. And now he's got a bunch of kids splitting image of him or whatever. When he puts them on, I get pictures of them and stuff like that. And you think they're him or whatever. But the amazing thing is just when you think you're gonna forget about them and stuff like that, boom, all of a sudden they send you a Facebook thing or whatever with a bunch of pictures or saying when you're gonna come by and visit, or right after they just had a really bad storm in Texas and I was worried about him on Galveston Island, because Galveston Island got like 25 inches of rain and all this stuff with wind and everything, and he's kind of like the curator and the keeper of the parks there on Galveston Island or whatever. So I got back together with him to find out what was going on with that. And then shortly after that, Randy sent me something. So people kind of just come in and out of your life, kind of like waves of the sea or something like that, right about the time you're, and it's really cool because they're interested in what you're doing or whatever like that, how your family's doing. So it's
Anybody
nice.
else?
I was just thinking, one of the things that we don't think about too much is my parents. I mean, it's like that's your
You got to call for the show.
It's like a three-strand cord because you have the mother, the father, and the child. Okay? And that's what makes the strength of the child, helps the child to go. And that's one of the things that's missing nowadays. A lot of families, there is no father. In some, there is no mother. And sometimes I've heard stories where siblings have actually filled the gap. Okay? But that's not always the case. Okay? And that's a good example of a three-strand cord.
Amen. Anybody else?
That makes me 11 strand cord.
My brother go to 5 or 6 AA meetings a day. And he said, he told me many times that he thinks that saved his life. And it probably did. But people in AA, they network really well. They have sponsors and they reach out, and they always have somebody they can call when there's a problem. And it doesn't have to be I'm sitting in a bar and I'm thinking about drinking. It can be any kind of problem. And that's something that we need to do. Again, we're back to the whole phone number thing. We don't network. We get together once a week and we talk. But when we have a problem, we internalize that. We might pray about it. We pray about it, but we don't reach out to one another saying, hey, I'm struggling with this in my life right now. Or I need counseling for this, or I need advice, or I need encouragement, or anyway, I think we need to.
I like that, Mike, because what a great example of. Matter of fact, if you go into the next page over here, and it talks about where God, in Mark 6:7, where God sends people out. And when he sends them out, he sends them in twos, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're in the service, in the army, you're an apostle, when you go to training and all that, you got those guys that are right there. They're your buds, they're your friends, you know? And when bullets are flying and whatever, you know, those guys are right there. And you might get hit, and I love that movie with Forrest Gump. He went after Bubba. You know, and he's looking for him when he was down. But see, that's a camaraderie and a brotherhood and relationship that we're talking about. Unfortunately, we don't see as much of that as we used to see in the past. And even within the body, within the church, you know, we know each other and all that. And the scripture here is telling, you know, it's talking about that. You know, the Old Testament law, okay, as Jesus moved about in Galilee, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom of God and demonstrating the presence of Jesus through works of power, he sent out his disciples to share in his mission. And that is, you know, he shared in his mission with the disciples. And Jesus gave them authority over demons and as well as power to heal. In this way, they were able to carry his message to people. You know, when I started the ministry as a Dream Center, you know, I had some really good people alongside of me, and I would have been able to do it on myself. And these people were diehards, man. They were there for the ministry. They loved the things we were doing, and I always say that even when we had a ministry, that I cured a lot of people. I got them buried because we were doing so many outreaches and reaching out to a lot of people. And some of them, after a while, they get tired, they have to move, you know, back out. But the point is that you can't do nothing on your own. You can't do nothing on your own. And you know, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't like wishy-washy people. I like people that are there because we have a common interest and a common goal. And we come here in the morning, and when we come here in the morning every Friday for 20 years, because we have a common interest, and that's Christ. And our common goal is that we know, a lot of us know each other outside of the service, you know? And so, outside of this. But it is important for us. It is important for us to, you know, to follow, and we need those people. But yet, you know, Mike, you were right on point. You know, we as men, we internalize things. We walk around like you know, I can have this and all that. You don't have a shoulder to cry on. I know when I was married, my first marriage, and I went through a divorce and all that other stuff, and I met a pastor, he asked me, who do you have to talk to? Who who do you have you can talk to? And you know what, man? I just busted out, man, because I didn't have anybody. I knew a lot of people. You know a lot of people, but who can you talk to? You got people like, and I pray that I'm gonna get an Elsie here for a minute. Because Elsie's a real prideful guy, very proud.
Strong.
And yeah, but he's also internalizing a lot of stuff. Who does he have to talk to? You know, who do you have to talk to? And a lot of times we go by and we'll abroad, I can't talk to somebody who doesn't have anybody. And we need to be able to, if we're going to do a kingdom work, if we're going to do kingdom work for what God calls us to do, especially these latter days, he says that we need, you know, the Old Testament, you know, when Jesus sent the people out, he sent them out in twos. And there's the reason that is, there's several reasons that occurred, you know, and first of all, when you're ministering, you're teaching people how to minister, how to work. Like if you're working with Elsie and you're working as a mechanic or something like that, you know, you're in training. You're being discipled in that area. You're being taught. And I think too many times I think that in the body, this is why I think that this is good, and my heart is always what's really going on in your life? What's really happening? You know, Chris don't talk too much unless he has other people he talks to, and it's good that you guys connected. And we're all going through stuff, you know. But if we do not work together for the kingdom and the glory of God, what are we doing? With the Lone Ranger, you know, at least the Lone Ranger had talent, you know. And so I was thinking about all these guys, like Cisco Kid had Poncho, you know, and Tarzan had, I'm not going to say Jane, he had the chimpanzee, you know. But, you know, that's the importance of what Scripture is talking about, is that a core of 3 strands is not quickly broken. And the whole emphasis on that is when you're going somewhere, you fall down, a person is able to help you. And you know, that's what the Word of God is telling us.
When you were talking about the military guys, it reminded me they have a conference this weekend in Tampa, and they have 43 of the winners of the Medal of Honor over there.
That was really powerful. Yeah.
They've been running it on the news, on Bay News 9 or whatever with it. And to a man, they were doing interviews on him or whatever like that. They were bringing him in their blazer, with all wearing a white blazer with the Medal of Honor thing there and everything. And to a man, every one of them said that I wear this for the guys in my unit, or I wear this for the guy that was with me while we laid there when we were dying or whatever. I jumped on the grenade, but he was right there with me or what. Every one of them, to a man, sits there and thinks that they don't deserve it. They were just doing their job.
Yep.
I mean, not that they're not honored or whatever like that, but it doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the people that they were with at that time or whatever.
Represent.
They all think that the real heroes are the ones who didn't come
That
home.
did make it, yeah.
I've heard them say that a lot.
Buried in the name. You going back to poetry then, huh?
The challenge is, here we are,
Thank you, that was good.
and we talk, we share this, but is there a change happening?
Yeah.
You know, I like what Mike did, that he brought that thing so everybody could have each other's phone number in case something happens, you know? I like that.